Beloved, you may not realize it, but there is a quiet miracle unfolding in the shadows of your everyday life. While you wake up and go about your routine, while you wrestle with your private battles and question if any of it matters, someone you may not even know well, is watching. They are watching the way you refuse to completely give up, the way you push through when life tries to break you, the way you keep showing up even when your own heart feels too heavy to carry. They have seen your setbacks, your moments of silence, your days of invisible struggle, and yet they've also seen something you often overlook, your resilience. To you, it might just look like surviving, but to them, it looks like proof that survival is possible. Right now, they are holding on because they've seen you hold on. Every time you get back up after being knocked down, you are unknowingly sending them a message that says, "It's not over yet." Every small act of kindness, every moment of quiet endurance, every time you choose faith over despair, you are planting seeds of hope in a heart that was dangerously close to giving up. Heaven has been watching both of you, and I, the Lord, have orchestrated this connection without you even realizing it. I placed you in the path of this soul at the exact moment they were losing sight of light, because your story, unfinished as it is the sign they needed to keep breathing. You have been asking me if your life is making any difference, and I am telling you now, it is. More than you will ever know. What you see as weakness, they see as strength. What you call failure, they call courage. And while you may never hear their words or know their name, I am telling you, they are alive right now because of what you've shown them. So keep moving, keep praying, keep walking, even if you feel like you're crawling, because your journey is not just about you. There is a destiny tied to your footsteps, and someone else's breakthrough is hidden in your perseverance. And child, I need you to understand the weight of what you carry, even when you feel empty. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. The one who watches you does not need you to have it all together, they just need to see you not give up. In their private prayers, they have whispered to me that they don't know how to keep moving forward, that the world feels too heavy, that they've been counting the days and wondering if it would matter if they stopped showing up altogether. And then, without you knowing it, you appeared like a living parable. They saw you endure seasons you didn't deserve, walk through storms you didn't cause, and yet, somehow, you still found the strength to smile, to help others, to speak words of encouragement even when you yourself were weary. What they don't know is that I was carrying you in those moments, that your survival was not just for you but for them too. You have become a living testimony in their life, a moving, breathing reminder that faith can hold even when everything else is falling apart. And the enemy hates this. That's why lately you've felt increased attacks, strange moments of exhaustion, and sudden waves of discouragement. Because if the enemy can make you quit, he can also extinguish the flame of hope in the one who's watching you. But I tell you this, he will not succeed. I have surrounded you with angels, I have poured strength into you in moments when you thought you had none left, and I have already ordained that your life will bear fruit beyond what you can see. Every tear you've cried in secret has been counted, and every moment you've chosen to keep going has sent ripples into eternity. Right now, the one who has been silently inspired by you is beginning to rise, to pray again, to believe again. You don't even know it yet, but your endurance is rewriting their story. And one day, whether in this life or in eternity, you will meet them, and they will tell you, "I didn't give up because I saw you didn't give up." And I need you to understand, beloved, that this is not a small thing in my kingdom. You are carrying a torch through a valley, and though you may not see all the faces lit by its flame, they are there, following the light you don't even realize you hold. The one watching you has been through nights so dark they wondered if dawn would ever come. They've been betrayed by the ones they trusted most, had dreams shatter in their hands, and sat in rooms where silence was louder than any voice they could bear to hear. They prayed once, years ago, that I would send them a sign that they were not alone, but they stopped expecting the answer to come. And then I placed you in their view. Maybe it was in a small conversation, maybe through a post they stumbled upon, maybe through a passing glance at the grocery store where they noticed the quiet strength in your eyes. What they didn't know was that you too had been praying, asking me if your life was making any difference. In that moment, without words, I tied your stories together. You became a silent answer to their silent prayer, and they became part of the purpose I promised to weave out of your pain. This is why you've been feeling pressure on every side, because the enemy is desperate to silence you before you see the fruit of your faithfulness. But hear me, I will not allow it. I have built endurance in you through seasons you thought would break you, and that endurance is now carrying more than just you, it is carrying destinies. When you choose to forgive instead of retaliate, they see it and believe that forgiveness is still possible. When you lift your head in the middle of a trial, they believe that hope still exists. Even your smallest act of obedience has been magnified in their spirit. You think you're just surviving, but I see you as planting seeds with every step. And though the soil of their life has been dry, your witness is watering it. Do not despise the days when you feel unseen, because while you feel hidden, you are being watched by the one who needs to know that faith can still stand after fire. And very soon, you will see how this hidden connection was not random, it was an assignment. Beloved, I need you to feel the weight of what I am telling you, because you are closer to the moment of revelation than you have ever been. The one watching you is on the verge of making a choice that will change the entire course of their life, and your example has been the anchor holding them in place when the storms of despair tried to sweep them away. They have sat alone in their room replaying your words, remembering your smile, clinging to the way you carry yourself in adversity, and it has convinced them that the darkness they are in is not permanent. You are not just inspiring them, you are teaching them how to fight, even when you feel like you're still learning yourself. This is why I have protected you from certain falls, from certain distractions, from certain connections you thought you wanted, because I could not allow anything to dim the light they are following. If you had given up in that one season you thought would be the end, they would have concluded there was no point to keep going. If you had let bitterness harden your heart, they would have accepted that joy was forever out of reach. And if you had chosen silence when I told you to speak, their heart would have missed the very word it needed to keep beating in faith. But because you stayed, because you chose to rise again when everything in you screamed to lay down, they are still here. And soon, beloved, you will meet them, not in the way you expect, but in a moment that will feel divinely orchestrated, where their eyes will well up and they will say, "You have no idea what you've done for me." You may think it will be small, but in heaven's eyes, it will be monumental, because saving even one soul from giving up is a victory that shakes the gates of hell. I am telling you this now so you will not grow weary in well-doing. Every tear you've cried, every prayer you've prayed, every time you've chosen to trust me over your fear, it has all been shaping you for this. You are not only walking toward your own breakthrough, you are carrying someone else's in your hands. And when the day comes that their faith is fully lit because of the light you refuse to let die, you will see that none of your pain was wasted. Hold steady, my child, because the moment is near when you will watch life return to their eyes, and you will understand why I kept you standing when you thought you could not take another step. This is more than inspiration, it is rescue. And heaven is rejoicing over the fact that you have been my vessel of hope, even without knowing it.